Hello, I'm Matt, and I'm speaking here as a member of the Bloomington Normal Communist Party Club to address the city's plans to install Flock license plate reading cameras. Flock license plate reading cameras are a high-cost, low-return kind of bad idea whose potential abuses and unintended by the people uses far outweigh any good that can come from them. Now, after trying to sneak them through as a consent agenda item, I'm glad that there has been actual public discourse and debate surrounding them by the Tech Commission and the PSCRB. Unfortunately and predictably, much of that discourse centered on the police and flock safety, making promises about how the limits of how they're going to be used, how the data is stored, who has access, the need for independent auditing, where the first batch of 10 will be located, et cetera, et cetera. Well, like any police surveillance state technology, there is no way to really ensure those abuses and unintended by the people uses won't happen, especially down the road once the whole issue falls from the public eye. Contemporary history is rife with examples of the abuse of surveillance technologies at every level of government, and we only know about many of them because of persecuted whistleblowers and diligent public scrutiny investigative reporting. The police surveillance state's MO is one of insidious growth. Sure, a lot of us here are old enough to remember how at first seatbelt laws were a secondary offense. You couldn't be pulled over for them, but if they noticed the seatbelt, when you were pulled over for something else, then yeah, you get the ticket. Then we went into the era of random roadblocks, police roadblocks. North Main was a pretty popular place for those. Those had the intent of catching DUIs and seatbelt offenses. And now, 20, 30 years later, they're a primary offense that you can be pulled over for. Drug testing in the workplace was the same way. It started out, hey, just dangerous jobs, just if there's an incident. Decades later, it's a societal norm for almost any position you want. And sure, it's only 10 cameras right now with this narrow field of uses that they promise, and they're being equitably placed with much strategic forethought. They're not, for now. Once that technology is in place, normalized off the public's radar, and just a new normal, it will be exponentially more difficult to stop the expansion of physical units and scope of use. The time to nip this unnecessary expansion of public surveillance in the bud is right now, before it's ever even in place. The city of Urbana set a great example by voting the flock cameras down. And I ask this council to take the people of Bloomington's best interest to heart,
Okay.
and likewise not allow them in our communities.
Okay. Thank you, Matthew. Next.
Next, we'll have